Welcome back. It's Friday. Here on Markets Today, we take it down a notch. It's all about Ask Mbithe. I want you to take out your phone and ask me absolutely anything that you would like to know when it comes to investments. The number 20146. Or you could ping me as well on social media. That's at Mbithe Mwema. Or you could ping us as a house. That's at Metropole TV on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Friday is the day we take it down a notch. It's chilled out here on Markets Today. We talk about what's happening on investments. We break down different concepts. But more importantly, it's a show where we switch it up and we want to hear your voice. What do you want to know? Give us a shout. Tell us if you'd also like to be part of us in studio, and we would be more than glad to be able to invite you. Now, we want to look at one particular stock today. Over the last couple of weeks, we have been picking up a stock and looking at it. We've looked at CIC, we've looked at Kenya Re, we've looked at Kengen, we've looked at Kenya Power, numerous stocks. Today, we are looking at Bamburi Cement. And the question we're trying to answer is at the current level of about 23 shillings, give or take, does it make sense to look at it? In other words, if a stock is cheap in terms of the absolute price, which is about 23 shillings, is it cheap really, or is there an underlying story that you want to pay attention to? We will be looking at Bamburi, and I'll take you through the investment case in terms of understanding the outlook as well as the history of this particular company. Before we do that, let me give you a heads up when it comes to understanding the fixed instruments in Kenya today. The government of Kenya each and every single week is in the market looking for 24 billion shillings worth of treasury bills. These treasury bills are for the 91-day, 182-day, and the 364-day T-bill. Investing in the government of Kenya is as simple as walking to the Central Bank of Kenya in any particular region, depending on where you're based at, asking them, nipatie form ya kutrade treasury bills ama treasury bonds, and then taking it to your bank, you're taking it back to them. They've made it that much easier because once you register physically, you can actually look at your phone and start buying treasury bills or treasury bonds using your mobile phone each and every single week. Now, this week, as I had mentioned, the government through the Central Bank of Kenya was in the market for 24 billion. The government only was able to raise 19 billion worth of bids that were accepted on the day. This was a bit lower than what we saw last week, but this is coming off the fact that in the previous week, the government of Kenya had issued 2 treasury bonds that saw it take out 69 billion worth of demand of funds from the market. So this week, 19 billion is what was raised against a target of 24 billion. Majority of the investors prefer to invest their money in the 1-year treasury bill. It's currently giving a return of 7.8 percentage points. One of these Fridays, keep it tuned here. We will be breaking it down. How do I invest in the government treasury bill? And next week on Friday, how do I invest in shares? Breaking it down step by step by step. Now, without any more time lapsing, let's take a look at who Bamburi Cement is. You've probably interacted with Bamburi Cement either by seeing the cement bags. They provide cement for housing. They provide a bit of cement for the for roads, especially Bagathi way. If you've seen some of the cement that's used in roads, they have been part and parcel of that. When you go and see bricks used in different places, cement bricks, then they have possibly been part and parcel of that. So let's try and understand Bamburi. When you see this tree, when you see this logo, what company are we looking at and what company are we talking about? Bamburi Cement is a provider of building materials, and it has engaged in the manufacture and sale of cement as well as cement-related products. So anything cement, Bamburi is there. Probably about 8 to 10 years ago, Bamburi Cement did have dominance in terms of being the largest market shareholder in this particular part of the world. But over time, we have seen new companies come into this particular space, eroding the competitive advantage that Bamburi Cement had. Today, if you actually walk around, you're more likely to see Mombasa cement bags, rather than Bamburi Cement. That was not the case at least a decade ago. Let's continue looking at the outlook of Bamburi. We have looked at what the company does. It also owns and maintains an environmental park created from rehabilitated quarries. You've probably been at this one if you have been in Mombasa. They have one in Mombasa and they also have another one in Uganda. This company operates in Kenya and in Uganda. The cement it produces in Kenya is primarily for the Kenyan market, and the cement it produces for Uganda is for Uganda as well as for export into the Rwandan market. Let's continue and see what is the next bit of information that we have for you from covering Bamburi as a cement company. The lines of business: it manufactures and sells cement, it manufactures and sells ready-mix concrete, and it also sells precast products, as well as engaging in the rehabilitation of quarries. That's their social responsibility to the community. Let's take a look at what happens after looking at its operations, what its core business is, and who are the key decision makers in this particular company. We have Mr. Sadiq Hassani, who is the Group Managing Director. Grace Olwach is the Finance Director. Always important to know when you are investing in a company, who runs the company, and even going a step further and trying to understand what is their background, because their background is imperative to the performance of the company. They tend to make the big decisions in terms of how do you implement the strategy of the company as articulated by the board of the company. That's the Chief Finance Officer, Mr. Sadiq Hassani, and Grace Olwach is the Finance Director responsible for the financial operations of Bamburi Cement operations in East Africa. Let's see what next in terms of what do you know or what you should know about Bamburi Cement. The last financials, we just took a look here at what was happening on revenue as well as on net income. 30th of June 2019, the revenues were slightly lower. 30th of June is the line to my extreme right, and then the second line, which is the light blue line, that's 30th of June 2020. So we did see the revenue decline from one year to the next year, and this was expected, especially with the closure of the economy. So their revenues were down from 18 billion half year last year compared to this year, 16 billion for that particular period. However, on the flip side, Netcom actually adjusted upwards. They were able to report an improvement in terms of their net income, and this was largely from operational gains as well as a one-off tax adjustment that the company reported in the year. Very important to understand the movement from revenue to the net income, because for you as a shareholder, you earn money when the company makes money and opts to pay you a dividend. This company has not paid a dividend for the last reported numbers. Let's take a look at the next bit of information that we want you to know about Bamburi as we come to the closure of understanding. Should you be buying it today, or should you probably hold on and see what happens in a couple of months? The largest shareholders there, we have FinCEM at 29.3%. That's 106 million owned by FinCEM, and KenCEM is 29.3%. Both of these names are representative of Lafarge Cement. Bamburi doesn't operate in isolation. It is part of the Lafarge group. Lafarge has operations in Kenya, has operations in sub-Saharan Africa, as well as in other parts of the world. Lafarge is a large cement producer, and how it operates in different countries such as Kenya is it has a local presence, and then it's able to bring its managerial expertise as well as its way of doing business to be able to enhance value in the countries that it operates in. When you look at Bamburi as part of the Lafarge holdings, which are represented by FinCEM and KenCEM, you don't look at Bamburi in isolation in terms of who is it competing with locally. You want to go a step further and ask, who are the key competitors for Lafarge across the continent of Africa? Across the continent, Lafarge has been losing out market share in terms of its cement construction to the likes of Dangote Cement. That's the largest producer of cement out of Nigeria. When it comes to the operations of Lafarge via Bamburi Cement in East Africa, Bamburi Cement did put up a new plant in Uganda with the hopes of being able to sell this cement into Rwanda. However, during the same time period, a Rwandese company, Semera, also set up a plant to produce and sell cement in that market, making it slightly harder for Bamburi to be able to sell its product in that market. With that overview, we come to the culmination of this discussion. The next point of information is the price trajectory for this stock. You have a company that started up at 80 shillings on the 2nd of January, and it has lost considerable value and is now trading at 23.44 shillings per share. What has happened? First and foremost, certainly an impact of investor sentiment, but it just got to a point where their operations were no longer making sense on a fundamental perspective. You have a company that started at 80 shillings per share, it's now at 23.55. You look at it at this price point and you're asking, does it make sense to look at this company at the current level? Maybe yes, maybe not. But here is my thesis. You have a company that has plants in Kenya and Uganda. When you walk around, do you see Bamburi cement bags? At least I don't. Very recently, I was in an Uber and I was speaking to a distributor of cement. So my Uber driver told me that he was running a hardware company. So I asked him curiously, so what cement do you sell? He's like, we sell Mombasa cement. I was like, really? Why don't you sell Bamburi cement? And this was a tidbit of information that he gave me. He told me the competition environment has become so stiff that the larger companies such as Mombasa Cement are no longer using brokers to get their product to you as a distributor of that product. Instead, they lump up their product in a truck, come and sell it to you at a massive discount. The price differential in the retail market comparing products such as Mombasa Cement vis-a-vis Bamburi Cement is almost 30%. When you look at it in that context, ultimately you're asking yourself, if construction picks up in Kenya, we have seen new buildings coming around, are they using Bamburi cement products or are they using other products in the market? If you're not sporting Bamburi cement, then this price at 23.55 could easily be a value trap, because for you as a shareholder, you earn a return when this company first and foremost pays a dividend. So from a fundamental perspective, you'd want to go and now to look at the financial analysis and understand what is happening in this company. Second way you make money as an investor is from speculation. So you can buy this company low and it appreciates, capital appreciation. That's the second way that you make money. So at 23.5, there is likelihood that it could probably gain 5%, 10%, or even 15%, largely because it's coming off a low base. It came all the way to 20 shillings per share in the month of August, straddling through September. It peaked at 25 and is now at 23.55. You want to see if it can go lower. If it can go lower, it does provide a short-term opportunity. But from a fundamental perspective, the valuation standpoint is not as rosy, and we want to get a sense of whether they will be able to pay a dividend, and it doesn't look likely as well for this year. That's our tidbit from markets today, or Ask Mbithe if you like, just understanding what is happening on this company and what should your investment considerations be. Next week, when we come, we won't be looking at any stock. We'll take a step back and say, step 1, how do I get into the stock market? Step 2, how do I open an account? Step 3, how do I then decide what company to buy? And then in subsequent weeks, we can go back to having our one-on-ones on the companies. I'd also like your feedback. Do you like the way we do this format? Are we too fast? Are we too slow? What would you like to know, and how can we package this information so that it's palatable for you? Because ultimately, we are here sababu yako. So tell us, unataka tuongee namna gani, na pia tunangojea utuongeleshe kwa nangos ama namna gani? Tumemaliza hii session ya Bamburi Cement, tumeangalia Bamburi Cement, tumeangalia Central Bank of Kenya, what are the rates there? 7.8% for 1 year. We've looked at the NSE, what is happening there? Safaricom imefika 30.65, still makes sense, lakini at that price, looks like it's fairly valued, so you probably don't want to buy it there. Actually, what you want to do is to start considering taking profits if it goes considerably higher. Now we take a break, and then there's hakuna kuangalia charts, hakuna kuongea numbers. We come back and I'm listening to you. I'm still waiting for your SMS. I have my phone right here with me. 20146, that's our SMS line. Nivutie nangos, niambie niaje, Ask Mbithe, nataka kujua 1, 2, 3, nitakusort. And then when we come back, we also took it out to the street as a team of markets today. We went out on the street and asked guys, what's up? What do you want to know about investments? So we will be showing you those videos and answering those questions when we come back after the break, and I hope to hear from you as well. See you shortly.